Okay, so we all think we know what a swear word is, right? But what if the absolute worst, most offensive things you could possibly say had nothing to do with being vulgar and everything to do with disrupting harmony? Well, that's exactly what we're exploring today. Welcome to the incredible world of Arreqqana profanity. And really, that's the huge question at the heart of this entire explainer. We're about to dive into a culture where the deepest insults aren't about being crude, but about being totally out of tune with your community, with truth itself, and with the sacred flow of the world around you. And it all comes down to this one single concept: disresonance. You see, in the Arreqqana worldview, this is the ultimate sin. It's the act of creating, spiritual and social static. It's about severing connections. This single idea is the bedrock for their entire system of insults. So let's see how it actually plays out. We're going to start with the basics. Level 1. Think of these as the mildest forms of disresonance, those everyday frustrations and little annoyances that just kind of bubble up to the surface. So first up, you've got taksha. It's that quick, sharp burst of frustration you feel when you, stub your toe or drop your keys. It's a personal disruption of your own inner peace. It's simple, it's direct, and it's very, very human. Now, to really see it in action, let's just imagine for a second that we're in a busy market. The air is thick with the smell of spices, you can hear people haggling everywhere. It's a place with tons of energy and, a lot of potential friction. And right there is our young vendor, Arreqqana. And he is just completely fed up with a local gossip. So he mutters that someone needs a tonksha moment. See, it's that perfect under-the-breath thing. He's not trying to cause a scene. He's just venting his own small moment of personal disresonance. Okay, now let's look at an insult that's actually aimed at another person. A fuck-Connie. This is someone whose inner world is just chaotic. A total mess. They're not necessarily a bad person, but their energy is so disorganized that it just spills out and affects everyone around them. And the perfect place to see a fuck-Connie in action? Oh yeah. A tense family dinner where just one person's chaotic energy can throw the whole delicate balance completely off. And there it is, the matriarch, Mama El Jonah, calls her own grandson a feckanai, and that is a powerful, powerful statement. She's not just saying he's acting up, she's saying his very spirit is a mess, and that he's dragging that chaos all throughout the family. Okay, now we're leveling up. These curses aren't just about a bad mood or being messy. No, these ones cut deeper. They attack a person's character and how they behave in society. I absolutely love the imagery on this one. A zabato, or brain of steam, is someone who is just full of hot air. You know the type. Their ideas have zero substance, no grounding in reality. They're all puffed up with ego, but there's nothing really there. So let's go back to that chaotic family dinner, where the frustration is just boiling over. An older sister, Yama, just screams this at her reckless sibling right after he blurts out a family secret. It's just pure exasperation at his total lack of common sense. He's all steam, no substance. This next insult targets a really specific kind of social disruption. A Molakki is someone whose words are just meaningless echoes. They don't add anything to the conversation, they just repeat gossip and noise, and in doing so, they devalue the whole act of speaking. And remember Arreqqana from the market? Well, he's finally had it. He actually calls that nosy auntie a Molakki right to her face. He's not just calling her a gossip, he's accusing her of polluting the community's soundscape with worthless, empty echoes. All right, now we get to the final level. And this is where things get deadly serious. These are not just insults. These are life-altering accusations. These are the words that can literally get you cast out of your society, because they represent the most profound, the most damaging forms of disresonance. To even begin to understand the weight of these words, the setting is everything. We're in the most sacred of places, a flame chamber, where a fundamental vow has just been shattered. The stakes could not possibly be higher. A tikla is so much more than just a liar. A false braider is someone who takes the beautiful, sacred patterns of truth and intentionally weaves lies into them. They corrupt what is most holy, usually for their own gain. It is an act of deep, deep spiritual vandalism. Just listen to the wording here. The high priestess doesn't just say you lied. She says you have become tuklagakan. It's not about what the apprentice did, it's about what she is now. Her entire identity is now defined by this sacred betrayal. It is a condemnation of her very soul. So if a Taklakan poisons truth, a Qhussava destroys connection. I want you to imagine the community as this giant, beautiful tapestry woven from countless threads of relationships, oaths, and trust. A Qhussava is someone who takes a blade and deliberately cuts those threads, unraveling the very fabric of their society. And with that one word, it is over. The high priestess declares the apprentice Qhussava waro, and in the very same breath, excommunicates her. By snapping the sacred threads of her vow, the apprentice has snapped the one thread connecting her to everyone else. There is absolutely no coming back from this. So there you have it, the 3 ultimate sins, and each one attacks a fundamental pillar of Arreqqana culture. Qhussava attacks harmony itself. Taklakan attacks sacred truth, and Qhussava attacks the very bonds of community. Together, they represent a total and complete rejection of the Arreqqana way of life. So why does any of this matter? Well, it's because a culture's swear words are like a direct window into its deepest values. What a society chooses to forbid and punish with its language tells you exactly what that society holds most sacred. And what we see in the Arreqqana is crystal clear. They value harmony above everything else. For them, community bonds are unbreakable. Truth is absolutely sacred. And on a day-to-day level, they just have no patience for chaos, for foolishness, or for empty words that create that social static. Their profanity is designed to protect these values. And that really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. If Arreqqana curses are a mirror reflecting their soul, take a second and think about our own. What do the words we consider profane, the insults we use when we're angry, what do they really say about what we truly value? Or maybe what we've forgotten to protect?